The T-Birds staging a late rally and tying it up, but it was Isaiah Thomas's 45 points in overtime and regulation that led the way for the Vikings. The Vikings face a very game Franklin Quakers team that is very, very deep and led by the explosive Venoy Overton, who is averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. We'll be back with the starters in just a moment. You are watching the Comcast On Demand presentation of the 4A state tournament here from the Tacoma Dome. This Comcast On Demand sports presentation is being brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, the title sponsor of the WIAA State Championships.
Welcome back to the Tacoma Dome, site of the WIAA 4A Boys Basketball State Semifinals. Both the Curtis Vikings and the Franklin Quakers are on the floor at center court as Chris Sprinker and Jody Johnson prepare to tip it off. We are about ready to get underway with our first of two games here at the semifinals. Here on Comcast On Demand, you can catch both of the boys' semis and both of the girls' semis here at the 4A. And right off the bat, Isaiah Thomas, the star for the Vikings. Let's fly from three. He misses. Ball comes out of bounds. Zeke Hill jumps over the press table to our left. And the ball is inbounded as Hill is way behind the play. A bit of an unfair advantage there for Franklin. Hill catches up and the ball gets stuck on the jumper. So let's set the starting lineups for you. For Curtis, Tyree Williams, Zeke Hill, Alex Seymour, Chris Sprinker, and of course, Isaiah Thomas. And for Franklin, they are led by Venoy Overton, Jody Johnson, Donnie Cheatham, Jordan Daisy, and Zach Williams. Franklin, with a very deep bench, they will throw waves of defenders at Isaiah Thomas, trying to slow down the junior superstar. And to the middle on the drive, it was Daisy. His shot misses. He tries to chase it down. It's fought for in the corner, and now Tyree Williams and Daisy, as well as Zach Williams, all hit the floor. Jump ball is the call, and that is a held ball. They no longer jump it off, so it's a held ball. Possession arrow to Curtis, 0-0. Just into the first few moments of the semifinal matchup. The winner to play the winner of the South Kitsap and Central Valley game coming up next. Alex Seymour steps out right around 18, 19 feet inside the arc, and Seymour knocks it down. 2-0 for the Vikings. Backing things out. It's Cheatham and Overton out top in the corner now. Williams gives it back up to Cheatham. Cheatham, the lob to the far corner. Overton stepped on the line. Alex Seymour did a nice job of closing off the baseline. Overton got his sneaks on the inline. Turnover for Franklin. 2-0 Curtis. Isaiah Thomas trots the ball across midcourt, now between the circles. Picked up way outside, and he drains it. There is not a shot in the gym that Isaiah Thomas thinks he can not hit, and he launches from 23 feet. NBA range there, knocking it down. 5-0 Curtis. Zone, the overplay from Isaiah. He tries to step out. Instead, Cheatham gives up. Daisy shoots, misses, and rebound coming back the other way. Tyree Williams driving, dishing. Left-handed jumper from Seymour is no good. Rebound cleared by Jody Johnson. Johnson, the tallest of the starters for Franklin at 6'4", went up and got that defensive board. And this time, Venoy Overton down the paint, hanging in midair, switching to his left hand, getting it up on the lip, and it drops through for the first bucket for the Quakers. Tyree Williams to the far side to Zeke Hill, working in front of the Franklin bench. Head coach Jason Kerr watching, and it's going to be a foul away from the ball on Overton on a hold. To give Venoy his first. It was Jordan Daisy picking up Zeke Hill in front of the Franklin bench. We mentioned that Jason Kerr is trying to take his team back to the state title game, where in 2003 they picked up his first. Of course, it was not the first for the program, a storied basketball tradition at Franklin. Now Williams driving, and another push on Overton. So ball will be inbounded underneath the hoop again by Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is the inbounding passer, and oftentimes Curtis will have Isaiah throw the inbound pass, step back onto the floor, and comes right back to him, and he'll launch from 3. Now he throws it all the way out top to Zeke Hill, and Isaiah tracks it down. Isaiah with the rock and the shot. No good. Rebound to the point guard for Franklin. Smallest man on the floor, Donnie Cheatham, with the best eyes as he finds Jody Johnson running the floor through the paint. Jody on the receiving end of the assist from Cheatham. 5-4 Curtis. Now out top to Thomas. The left-handed step, and he pulls it back, gives off to Williams. Now back to Thomas, working his way back toward midcourt, picked up by Cheatham. Thomas using the pick from Sprinker. Now to the paint. Thomas to the paint, the floater, and the deuce, and Isaiah is off to a quick start. 5. Zeke Hill on the steal. Back comes Isaiah Thomas. Whistle blows. It's like Jordan Daisy.
Jordan Daisy, his first. Isaiah Thomas at the line for a pair.
Whistled for the foul. First foul on Daisy. Third team foul for Franklin. Thomas hits his first free throw.
3 is the team for the Quakers. Thomas to shoot the second of 2.
This is going to be a battle of the Curtis offense, which averages 80 points per game in the tournament, versus the Franklin defense, who held Ferris, a very game Ferris-Saxon squad, to just 37% from the field. And Franklin against Ferris had 7 blocks and 7 steals, with Overton leading the way. He's averaging a block and a half, and he had a couple of spectacular blocks. But on this end of the floor, on the offensive set, a call that we have seen repeatedly, a travel on Jordan Daisy. Turnover for the Quakers. Substitutions onto the floor. Robert Dampier for the Quakers. Number 21 checks into the game as Zach Williams checks out. Thomas all the way to the hoop. He just races by the defender and scoops to the rack. Isaiah with 7. Dampier working around the arc. Gives it up. Overton down the lane, his left-hander off, rebound pulled nicely inside, up and off the glass. Jody Johnson with the rebound. His second, and he will go to the line, shoot a pair. Foul is on Alex Seymour, his first team foul for the Vikings. First one is good. Second free throw on the way. This one looks long, and it is. It rims off. Rebound fought for and controlled by Chris Sprinker. Chris Sprinker has had that left hand wrapped the entire tournament, and it has not affected him. He has played well underneath, and he threw down a delicious dunk in the first half last night against Mount Tahoma, but Isaiah Thomas picking up where he left off. Speaking of delicious, the tasty 3 from 23 feet for Isaiah. The Ruby Slippers are working out as he proves there is no place like Dome. Back comes Muhammad. He steps inside the defender, and he knocks down the jumper. We are at 14-7, 3:21 left in the first. Curtis and Franklin, a couple of heavyweights, getting it on here in Tacoma. Seymour, the ball fake. Now he goes to the rim. Left-handed runner up and in by Alex Seymour. Seymour now with 4 points. And the Curtis offense is red hot. Jordan Daisy gets on the board himself as he drives the lane and flips that one up and in. Overton on Thomas. A couple of incredible juniors. A long three. This one is short by Thomas. Rebound. Tapped out of bounds off the hand of Johnson, apparently. And it will stay at this end of the floor. Curtis to retain possession. Checking into the game for Curtis, number 31, Gerald Hill, as well as Eric Evans. And into the game for Franklin, Peyton Siva. Isaiah Thomas to the paint. He hangs and flips it up with the left. 18-9. Now in the corner, Mohabin having a hard time finding the handle. Back out top to Overton. Curtis in the zone. Franklin yet to really crack the zone. No threes yet from the Quakers. Siva, he'll launch from three. Just a little long. Rebound controlled by Muhammad. Muhammad can't get it to fall from the corner. Rebound to Sprinker. And back comes Thomas. Thomas to the right side in front of the Quaker bench. Overton and Dampier on the double. Gerald Hill stumbling into the key. It looked like he lost his step, maybe stepped on Muhammad's shoe, and he is assessed for the travel call. And Curtis will go back to the other end. Franklin to inbound under the Curtis hoop. It is Venoy Overton bringing the ball up. Peyton Siva, just a freshman, another bandaged left hand out there. And Peyton Siva has had a terrific tournament. Long three missed by Muhammad. Rebound tapped into the hands of Thomas. Credit Thomas with the rebound. He's had an all-around terrific tournament. Assists, rebounds, and of course the scoring. That time he misses, but Zeke Hill on the weak side, put back. Zeke up and in, the travel call again. Multiple travel calls for both teams, and that time it looked as if Overton caught someone's foot, just stumbled briefly, and called for the travel as he went through the lane. So 1:14 left in the first. It is a 20-9 lead, and Curtis has exploded here in the first period. We talked about Curtis's offensive prowess, averaging 80 points per game in the tournament. He came into the tournament averaging 76. Isaiah Thomas, 14 points early. And last night in the overtime, he had 15 in 4 minutes of play. So Isaiah Thomas knows how to get it done. And most of his points, surprisingly enough, come in the flow of the offense. Sure, he has the green light to shoot whenever he likes, but he's averaging 6 assists. He's the tournament leader at 6 assists per game. So he plays that hybrid point and shooting guard position with license to shoot at will and a license to thrill. He has been spectacular. What a 24 hours for Isaiah Thomas, the junior. Players are back on the floor. Officials counting the numbers. Zeke Hill inbounds to Isaiah Thomas. We're at 1:10. Gerald Hill, the backdoor lob. Isaiah wanted to go up and flush it. Got a big smile on his face. Sprinting back down the floor, talking to Gerald. If that pass had been a little bit closer to the rim, we have seen number 11 up there with his hands on the orange. Instead, he is at 16 now, and it is a 22-9 advantage for the Vikings. Franklin gonna have to get something done on the defensive end, really. Their offensive flow has been spotty, but it's the defense who's let them down. A long three, misses. Chased down by the man who shot it, Overton. His shot goes off the side of the backboard. 34 seconds left. Back comes Zeke Hill on the attack. Hill with the offensive foul. Peyton Siva standing his ground and applying some of that defensive prowess that we mentioned for Franklin. They have played a couple of terrific defensive games in the opening round. They held the Kentwood Conquerors, the same Kentwood team that finished second in the state last year and first 2 years ago. They held Kentwood to 41 points altogether, and just 11 in the second half on 31% field goal shooting. And we mentioned what they did to Ferris, only allowing 37% from the field against the Saxons. The steal by Thomas to the hoop. Thomas going up strong, the little man with the left hand. Gonna go up and throw it down on Daisy, and Daisy gets teed up. Jordan, Daisy had words for Isaiah. Isaiah went up with the left hand, was gonna flush that one down. Daisy made a clean play at the rim. No ill will there, but Jordan doing a little too much talking after the foul call. Thomas will go to the line. He'll get to shoot three.
He'll get two.
Thomas working on an epic first quarter. Misses the first.
Tabit Muhammad returns for the Quakers.
The Curtis fans are into this one as they are located just a few miles away from the Dome, University Place in suburban Tacoma. Thomas makes the second. Of course, Franklin out of the Kingco. 4A making the trip down from Seattle.
2 more shots for the personal foul.
So high school basketball, 2 free throws for the technical. And now the 2 free throws for the personal, and Isaiah showing a minor flaw in his game as he has missed a couple of free throws on this trip. Second one up, and it is good. So the damage could have been much worse, much worse for Franklin as Isaiah lets the Quakers off the hook by going 2 of 4 on that trip. $18 points unofficially for Isaiah Thomas in the first, 18 of the first 25, and we're under 10 seconds, 5 to play. Guess who? Oh, right in there as it pops out. Gerald Hill. It'll count, and it does count. Gerald Hill, and the Vikings explode. It's a 2-pointer inside the arc. Officials are checking on it, and they rule a 2-pointer from Gerald Hill. And after 1 quarter, it is all blue and white. A Viking whitewashing led by the stellar Isaiah Thomas. You are watching the Comcast On Demand WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 4A state semifinals. Back in a moment with the second quarter. This Comcast On Demand sports presentation of high school basketball is being brought to you by Wells Fargo Bank, proud sponsor of the Wells Fargo Scholastic Cup, promoting academics, athletics, and sportsmanship. Wells Fargo, the next stage. Welcome back to the Tacoma Dome, site of the 4A state semifinals. The first of 2 tonight between the Franklin Quakers and the red-hot Curtis Vikings. The winner of this one will play the winner. Uh-oh, coming back the other way. Thomas can't quite get it down. He went up and had it slip out of his hands off the back of the rim. He was trying to throw that one down. Johnson back the other way. Maybe a good thing for the crew here at the Tacoma Dome, as that would have brought the house down, as Thomas is putting on a show here early. Hill was double teamed, gives it up to Zeke Hill. Zeke Hill called for another offensive foul. And the Franklin bench letting the officials know their displeasure. The call went their way. A couple of the assistant coaches were up off the bench in the ear of the officials. 27-11 is the score. We are at 7:13 left in the second. We mentioned the winner of this one to move on and play in the finals tomorrow night in primetime against the winner of the Central Valley and South Kitsap second semifinal. Muhammad on the swing to the near side. Misses, rebound, fought for. It was Nate Jackson working on the inside. The reserve off the bench for Franklin had nice position. And he is fouled by Tyree Williams.
Foul number 5, Tyree Williams. His first team foul number 4 on the Vikings.
Tyree's first team foul number 4 on the Vikes.
Zach Williams for the Quakers.
Zach Williams returns for Franklin, and Chris Sprinker back on the floor for Curtis.
Number 1, Venoy Overton returns to the game for Franklin.
And checking back in for Franklin, Venoy Overton, their leading scorer. Inbound pass to Williams. He misses from in close. Gerald Hill with the rebound. Stolen away. Overton pushing it back. 3-on-3. Muhammad blocked nicely. It was Tyree Williams getting up and blocking that shot. Tyree, just a 6-footer, went up high on the block.
Technical foul, assistant number 22, Eric Evans. That'll be his first.
And a technical foul has been called now on Curtis. Number 22, Eric Evans, the official scorer indicated, but it was Gerald Hill in the backcourt that perhaps made the contact. We will find out later. Instead, it is Mohammed going to the line. Hits the first of the technical fouls. It's 27-12. Franklin needs to do whatever they can to claw their way back into this game before it gets out of hand. They cannot afford to go into halftime with a double-digit lead. Try to whittle it down, get it under 10. And we'll need to do that with defense. Second free throw, good by Mohammed. Kind of a strange developing play. It was a long way away from our vantage point in front of the Curtis bench. There was a pick in the backcourt as they were trying to free up Thomas, and somebody must have said something to someone else, and the whistle blew. Technical foul on Eric Evans. He stays on the floor. It's Evans, Sprinker, Hill, Williams, and Thomas. Jumper from the baseline. Donnie Cheatham. Donnie Cheatham, who had a terrific game in the quarterfinal win last night over Ferris. It was Cheatham, 6 of 7 from the floor. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Great overall floor game for Cheatham, and Cheatham's gonna have to work hard to lead his Quakers back. I think that time the foul is called on Tabid Muhammad.
Foul charge to Tabid Muhammad, his
His first. Team foul number 6. Evans was driving to the basket, but the shot was not off yet, so stays on the floor. Thomas to inbounds. John Boyle from the Seattle Times wrote a terrific article you can read in today's paper about the smile that Isaiah Thomas plays with. And back comes Franklin, lightning quick. Venoy Overton on the make. As the bucket was made by Curtis. The inbound in just a matter of seconds to Overton. He is already to the rack, lays it up and in. Count the bucket, and Venoy goes to the free throw line. Shoot the extra. Venoy Overton on the tournament is averaging 20 points per game with 5 assists and 1.5 blocks. And as I mentioned in the first quarter, he had a couple of terrific blocks where he went up high to pin it on the glass. Thomas crossing the timeline, working against Cheatham. Cheatham bodying up. Williams driving to the baseline, has it slapped away by Overton. Last touch by Venoy. Viking basketball. We will stay here this end of the floor. Tipped away and stolen now by Franklin. So the defense paying off for the Quakers. Cheatham, back to Overton. Work between the circles now, all the way out top. Now he swings it, goes into the corner to Cheatham. Cheatham driving on Hill. Back out to Overton in the corner. Williams thinks about it. Instead, he lobs all the way across in front of the Curtis bench to Cheatham. Back to Siva. Siva walked.
Fouling violation on the Quakers. Curtis basketball.
So we've seen that call too many times here at the state tournament. As the player with the ball, eager to make their move to the basket. They have been shuffling their feet, and the officials have been quick to call it. Thomas from 22, 3-ball, 32-18. Isaiah. Pushing is the call inside as the rebound was fought for. Eric Evans went up to get it.
Foul number 22, Eric Evans. Number 10, Chris Holmes enters the game for the Quakers. Jody Thompson at the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Jody Johnson to the line to shoot the 1 and 1. His first shot is short, it's tapped away, Overton. And Thomas fight for it, it's Thomas saving to Hill. Thomas and the Vikings crossing midcourt. Pull up three on the way. With impunity. Isaiah. Enough. 35-18. In case you're wondering what the individual game scoring mark is, Peyton Siva, the freshman, gets on the board. The individual game mark was challenged last night by Thomas. And here comes another. Are you kidding me? The PA announcer says, no fooling, the real deal. You are seeing the best player in the state of Washington. One of the best we've seen in a long, long time. And he's only a junior, exploding on the biggest stage of all. Can't wait to see what Isaiah has in store for us in the finals. Another jumper in the corner, Siva, but they cannot match buckets with Thomas. Thomas's threes and Franklin's twos are going to result in a blowout for the Vikings. But how about Isaiah Thomas? Back-to-back trip down the floor, back-to-back three-pointers. He is fouled in the backcourt and will go to the free throw line.
Number 2, Tabit Muhammad. Thomas at the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Isaiah Thomas, the 5'10" junior, with 78 points and 12 assists in the 2 wins here at the tournament, and he is well on his way to another 40-plus point effort. 48 points is the all-time single game record. A miss this time from Thomas. He's struggling at the line, but Chris Sprinker pulls the rebound, puts it back up and in. Credit Sprinker. Overton all the way to the hoop, got it up and on the rim. Evans falls down, pushed slightly. Overton's trying to appeal to the baseline official, to no avail. Foul is called, and we'll take the long, slow walk back to the other end. Overton charged with his second. Team foul number 8, Eric Evans. Shoot the free throw. Timeout called on the floor.
Timeout Franklin. Full timeout Franklin.
Let's take a deeper look at Isaiah Thomas's tournament. Last night in the overtime win against Mount Tahoma, Thomas went into the halftime with just 9 points. He exploded in the second half for 34. As we mentioned, was almost perfect in the final 2 quarters plus the overtime period of 4 minutes, as he just went off, only missing 2 shots from the field. en route to an incredible game. The line for Thomas, 15 of 28 from the floor, 6 of 14 from the three-point line, 9 of 10 free throws, 45 points, 6 assists, a rebound, a couple of steals, and he played the full 36 minutes. Isaiah Thomas, definitely something special. Eric Evans making the trip to the line to shoot the free throw. He's sitting on 2 points. Evans, a 6'1" junior guard, averaged 5 points per game on the season, coming off the bench for the Vikings. We're just under 3 minutes to play here in the second. First free throw, missed on the front end of the 1-on-1. So back comes Franklin on the sprint out. Can't find the hoop. It was Nate Jackson. Just laid it up a little too strong. Peyton Siva comes back to fade away. For Siva is missed. Tyree Williams, the nearest man. We'll see who the official gives the foul to. The push on 5, Tyree Williams.
The foul on Curtis is Tyree Williams, his second.
Picking up his second.
That'll send number 3, Pepe Siva, to
both teams with 8 team fouls. Peyton Siva to the line. Shoot a couple. I mentioned Siva just 5'11". Only a freshman, but he has a huge impact on the game coming off the bench for Franklin. He averaged 14 points on the season, the second leading scorer. Second free throw, up and short from Siva. Rebound, pulled and put back nicely this time. Nate Jackson. Whistle blows, substitution onto the floor. Alex Seymour returning for the Vikings. Coming back in for Gerald Hill. Also into the game for Curtis for the first time in 44, Rogers Mingo. First action he has seen since the opening round game. Thomas pushing, falling to the floor, no call. Now a call on the other end of the floor. Stabid Mohammed used his body nicely. May have created the contact on his own, but he gets it up on the rim. It will not fall, but goes back to the line. So it's a 15-point deficit for Franklin. They're doing the right things in terms of attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line, but at some point they're going to have to take advantage of these opportunities. Mohammed, a 6-foot senior reserve, played 12 minutes last night against Ferris. Was 3 of 8 from the floor for 6 points. Pulled 3 rebounds. And the opening round win over Kentwood. He notched 5 points. Second free throw bounces off the back and falls through the cup. 2:26 left in the second. Back comes Thomas. Thomas has this one bounce off his foot. A rare error by Thomas. And Venoy Overton over the top with the Thunder Dunk here at the Thunderdome has finally crossed the way. The Franklin fans have something to shout about as they have cut the lead to 11. Timeout on the floor. Venoy making some noise. Up and in. Look at the hops there from Overton. Overton, 6-foot guard, going up and throwing it down. So we read about Isaiah Thomas and his 41-inch vertical. Isaiah Thomas listed at 5'9". Most of us think he's probably about 5'7". A Nate Robinson athletic type body, but Venoy Overton only 6 feet tall. He was way up there and slamming it down. So 2 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the second, and Franklin with an opportunity to get it down to single digits. The inbounds tapped away, almost stolen. Thomas with some words for Mingo, the inbounds passer. Now to Thomas. The tap ahead to Sprinker. Sprinker the save. Isaiah lays it up and in. Some serious basketball smarts on display there as Thomas realized he wouldn't be able to catch it, gave it up instead, and now it's a all-out melee on the floor. A couple of opportunities for both teams to recover the ball. Back comes Siva. Contact, no call. Falls in the hands of Thomas. Thomas looking ahead. Mingo has it partially blocked perhaps by Overton. And back comes Siva, racing in. Offensive foul. The freshman can't get the call on the junior superstar. It was Isaiah Thomas drawing the offensive foul. Player control foul on Peyton Siva. His first, 9th team foul. Overall, both teams with 9. Mingo to inbounds, finding Thomas. Mohammed picking up Isaiah at midcourt. Isaiah triggers to Evans, looking to the inside to Sprinker, and looked as if Jody Johnson may have got his feet tangled up and then was holding on to the backside of Sprinker. It was Johnson that hit the floor. Foul called on Jody. His first. Team foul, number 10. Chris Sprinker to shoot 2. Chris Sprinker, the 6'8" senior center, averaged 12 points per game in the regular season. Misses the first. Sprinker on his way to play at Eastern. And I saw a number of the Eastern coaches in attendance. A number of college coaches from all over the region are here scouting not only this terrific senior class. Sprinker misses both, but the number of underclassmen. We have seen some terrific play from sophomores like Patrick McCullum from Mount Tahoma, Peyton Siva, the freshman on the floor. Overton, a junior, he drives to the middle. He will ultimately play at the next level as he has got some serious quickness, and we saw his hops just a moment ago on the big dunk.
Foul number 21, Alex Seymour, his second.
Fouls on Alex Seymour, his second.
Venoy Overton at the line, he'll get 2.
10 now. And team fouls for Curtis, both teams in the bonus. Overton
Checking in for Curtis, number 31, Gerald Hill.
hits the first free throw. Checking back in for Curtis. The big boy, 6'4", Gerald Hill. Overton. 3 dribbles and a spin. Second free throw. Perfect. 11-point lead. That's as close as it's been here in the quarter. Ball's tapped out of bounds by Siva. Siva with the left hand unwrapped now. These are the first 2 games of the tournament. He has had that left hand, a rather large bandage. Perhaps he's finding it cumbersome here as he unwraps it. Back on the floor now. It's Mohammed picking up Thomas. Isaiah gonna use a pick from Hill. The pick is missed. Overton on the double. Thomas swinging it nicely to Evans. Back to the corner. Mingo, pump fake. He'll shoot for the first time. Long. Isaiah on the scramble. It's taken out of there by Overton. Overton, the head fake. Trying to go by Sprinker. Up and off the glass. Rebound fought for and tipped out of bounds. It was Nate Jackson who touched it last, says the official. So out of bounds to Curtis. Under a minute to play at 41.8 seconds. 42-31. Curtis over Franklin. It's been a bit of a hodgepodge kind of second quarter after the scintillating start that Thomas had. Both teams have whistled for multiple fouls. Jody Johnson made the steal at midcourt directly in front of the scorer's table. It's Jody, number 4 for the Quakers, had the ball and got pushed just slightly. Perhaps he was looking for the call. No call coming. 31 seconds now. Curtis perhaps to play for the last shot. Ball in the hands of you-know-who. Isaiah out there at the WIAA logo, standing at the Vancouver area, begins his move. Spinning away from Mohammed. The double comes. The steal. Contact made. Siva hits the floor. Overton, who picks up a critical third foul here in the first, and Overton will have to exit. Something that Jason Kerr, head coach of Franklin, wanted to avoid was having his star pick up 3 in the first. He can ill afford to have Overton off the floor, needs him on the hardwood, pressing the action. Thomas to the line. It's Thomas, Evans, Gerald Hill, Mingo, and Sprinker on the floor for the Vikings. Nate Jackson, Jody Johnson, Muhammad, Siva, and Donnie Cheatham back in the lineup for Overton. First free throw is good by Thomas. Second free throw for Isaiah, up off the front and the back. It falls through. 8 seconds left. Blocking foul in the backcourt. Silly foul there. Head coach Lindsey Bemis.
That's the third on Curtis's Eric.
Curtis, head man, very angry
Donnie Cheatham at the line for the
with
Quakers.
Evans as it sends Donnie Cheatham to the line for a couple of free throws with hardly any time off the clock. Silver lining for Curtis is with 7 seconds left in the period, they will have the opportunity for a final shot. First free throw, up and in for Donnie Cheatham.
Checking in for Curtis, number 25, A.J. Wilson.
Cheatham following up his 14-point effort last night with a 5-point first half here for Franklin. Second free throw, rattles home. Donnie Cheatham. Hill looking for the long baseball pass. A dribble coming, stolen away momentarily, a shovel. Both teams diving. Isaiah with the fling. Don't tell me that was going.
Halftime score, Curtis 44.
Isaiah Thomas with a big smile for us. But if you're Jason Kerr and the Franklin Quakers, you've got to be happy about stemming the tide and getting it back to 11. However, they were not able to get it into single digits, and they go into the locker room. A testy second quarter in the books. You are at the Tacoma Dome. We are at the Tacoma Dome. You are watching the Comcast On Demand Dairy Farmers of Washington 4A state semifinal game. And it's 44-33, Curtis over Franklin. Back in a moment with some halftime stats. Welcome back to Tacoma Dome, where at halftime it is the Curtis Vikings 44 and the Franklin Quakers 33. Let's take a look at the unbelievable first half that Isaiah Thomas had. If you go back to the second half of last night's game against Mount Tahoma, in 2 halves, that's 32 minutes plus 4 minutes of overtime, Isaiah Thomas has 66 points as he went for 68 points. He went for 36 points in the second half against Mount Tahoma, plus the overtime. And today in the first half, he goes 10 of 18 from the floor, 5 of 8 from three-point land, 7 of 9 from the free throw line for 32 points in the full 16 minutes of action. Some terrific production from Thomas, but he also had an assist, a couple of rebounds. He did turn the ball over 3 times, most of those coming in the second quarter when Franklin's defense finally started to create some turnovers. For the Quakers, Venoy Overton leading the way with 9 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Franklin, however, 0 for 6 from the three-point line and just 11 of 28 for 39% field goal shooting in the first half. And if you're wondering how hot a team can get, how about 61.5% from the floor for Curtis? So if you're Jason Kerr, you got to say to your team, hey, nobody's going to shoot 60% for an entire game, but if anybody can, it may be Isaiah Thomas and his Curtis Vikings. There you have the halftime report. We'll be back in a moment. It's an 11-point lead for Curtis. Back in a minute with second half action here from the Tacoma Dome. You're watching the Comcast On Demand Dairy Farmers of Washington 4A state basketball semifinals.
Production assistance provided by GameTapes.com. Get all the action from Washington State basketball and football finals, past and present, on DVD at GameTapes.com. All the action, all the angles, GameTapes.com.
This Comcast on-demand sports presentation of high school basketball is being brought to you by Les Schwab Tires, proud sponsor of the WIAA Scholastic Awards. Welcome back to the Tacoma Dome. Both teams back on the floor. Zeke Hill to inbound directly in front of us here at our midcourt vantage point. It is the Curtis Vikings who will start the second half with the ball and the lead. A lead that was as high as 16 points is down to 11. And it was a lead that was built on the small but incredibly sturdy stature of Isaiah Thomas. As advertised, a spectacular player inside, a spectacular move. Great pass from the big man, Chris Sprinker, out top at the top of the key. A little high-low action. Sprinker taking the pass, delivering a bouncer to Alex Seymour, and he lays it up and in for two, plus the foul. Free throw is good from Alex. Back come Venoy Overton and his Franklin Quakers. Curtis staying in the zone. They were in the zone for most of the first half. Baseline move now is up and missed. A couple of Vikings hitting the deck. No whistle. No foul called, rather. The whistle blows as someone was out of bounds. And it turned out to be Zeke Hill, who had Chris Sprinker fall on top of him. Hill lands on the inline. Inbounds coming now from Donnie Cheatham. Cheatham can't get it in. Out top, 5-second call. Cheatham.
5-second call on the Quakers.
Indecisive. Couldn't find anybody to throw it to, and he is called for the 5-second rule. Turnover. Back to Curtis. Both teams with a fair amount of turnovers in the first half. And Isaiah Thomas gives it up on the dribble, holding his head as if he was hit in the head. Tyree Williams can't believe that he might be called for the foul, as Venoy Overton, not quite as heralded perhaps as Isaiah Thomas, but Venoy, a special junior player in his own right. A terrific scorer on the season for Franklin, averaging 18 points per game. And that time Venoy showing his quickness and his aggressiveness as he got it up and off the glass. Williams called for the foul. Overton notches his first. Conversation going on between Jason Kerr, the head coach of Franklin, and the near official. And a pretty good conversation going on in the backcourt between Isaiah Thomas and Donnie Cheatham. Now Thomas comes all the way to the front court behind the arc. Thomas goes up, gets it pulled down. Foul going to be called on Franklin as Isaiah had his hands on the ball, and an inadvertent hand caught his right wrist and pulled him down to the floor. Isaiah Thomas lacing the drawers back up. Isaiah with the red shoes, the black headband, and the right arm sleeve. A flashy player, the flashy ensemble here at the Tacoma Dome. Thomas flashing his quickness between the legs. Up and in, Isaiah. So pretty, just inside the arc, free throw line extended. A little hesitation move. He's a player that has all kinds of speed, but he uses the change of speed with great effect. And Tabid Mohammed hits the triple, the first of the game for Franklin. They finally knock down a three ball, and it's Mohammed that does it. It's a 12-point lead. Curtis, Zeke Hill working against Overton. Thomas, the ball fake. Mohammed on the flyby. Thomas with one of his best looks at the rim as Mohammed was beyond him. That time, Isaiah left it short.
Out of bounds to Franklin. Substitution in for the Quakers. Nate Jackson returns for Franklin. So it's Jackson, Muhammad, Johnson, Overton, and Cheatham on the floor. Zeke Hill on the overplay, the near steal. Overton now in the corner. Muhammad, who just hit the three, instead drives, penetrates, and dishes nicely. A bounce pass on the interior to Jody Johnson. Johnson goes up and is fouled. He will go to the line.
The foul on Alex Seymour, his third. Team foul number 2 on the Vikings. Jody Johnson at the line for the Quakers. He'll get a pair.
Johnson
Gerald Hill returns for the
knocks
Vikings.
down the first free throw. Gerald Hill back in for Curtis. Jason Kerr with Franklin. Patient and knowing that as long as they stay within 10 points, they've got a shot. They've got some three-point shooters, even though they're just 1 of 7. Rebound controlled, fought for both Franklin players. Had the ball, and a terrible call is made as it was Jody Johnson and Nate Jackson, the 2 interior players for Franklin, that had the ball. And in any case, the possession arrow favored Franklin, so they're lucky to get it back, but the official ruled that the Curtis player had it. Sprinting to the other end, showing us that speed on the quick outlet. Isaiah up and in. Another 3. This one is long and missed. Rebound pulled by Sprinker. Back comes Tyree Williams. Williams looking for Zeke Hill. Hill has it tapped out of bounds by Venoy Overton. Zeke to inbound with 5:44 left. It's a 51-38 advantage. It was 11 points at half. Curtis building on that. Isaiah to the rim, up and in. Isaiah hits the floor, but not before he does more damage to Franklin. That time Isaiah split 3 defenders. Went up strong and finished. Back comes Cheatham. In and out, can't fall. Johnson hits the floor, a pushing foul on the inside. And Gerald Hill, the big man, who, as we mentioned, may be the starting quarterback for the Curtis Vikings next fall, played tight end, played it well this year. His big frame tangled up with Johnson. Non-shooting violation for Curtis. Out top now. Ball fake into the paint. Muhammad up and in. Rims out. Hill had his hands on it. Foul is going to be called on either Nate Jackson or Jody Johnson, as they had Gerald Hill sandwich. It was Hill who got his fingertips up.
The last foul assist to Nate Jackson.
Nate Jackson, number 5, the reserve for Franklin, tallest player on the Quaker roster, called for the foul. Thomas bringing it up under duress from Muhammad. Behind his back, using the pick. The pass to the corner. Tyree lets fly, and what a great advantage it is to have Chris Sprinker in his 6'8" frame working the offensive glass, but Sprinker lowered the shoulder, and he's called for the offensive foul. So just when you think that Curtis is going to seize the momentum from the electrifying play of Thomas and sprint out to a 20-point lead, Franklin makes a couple of stops on the defensive end, picks up an offensive foul from Sprinker, and 53-38, 15-point deficit. They have a chance to cut back into it. They're gonna need to get it into single digits soon. Muhammad waits, shoots, is fouled. Hill and Williams are on the spot for Curtis. Let's see who they give the foul to.
Foul assist to number 5, Tyree Williams, his 4th.
Tyree Williams, his 4th.
That'll send Tabit Muhammad to the line
He
for
will
the Quakers.
make his way over by the line. Tabit Muhammad, 6 points in the first half.
Checking in the game for Curtis, number 22, Eric Evans.
Eric Evans back in the game for Curtis. Second free throw on the way from Muhammad. Up and in. 13-point lead. Long pass. Three-pointer. Short, well short, and left from Zeke Hill. Sprinting back down the floor, it's Mohammed who'll shoot. His rebound, this rebound rather, comes to Isaiah. Isaiah getting tangled up with Jackson. Pushes it all the way over to the far side to Hill. Now in the corner, rather down low, as Chris Sprinker got tangled up on the interior. He made the catch, but his other hand was engaged with one of the Franklin defenders.
The foul charge to number 1, Venoy Overton.
Venoy Overton, his fourth. A huge foul. Donnie Cheatham will return Overton, the leading scorer on the season and in the game. But Franklin has to go back to the Quaker bench. On the inbounds, a set play. Isaiah Thomas runs the inbound play, puts it in from three. Long three now from Peyton Siva off the bench. Fabulous Frosch knocks down the three. So matching three balls from each team, and pressure defense coming now in the air. Isaiah got up in the air, pump fake, and then threw a left-handed bullet pass to Chris Sprinker. Sprinker gets it up and in, and it's a 58-43, 15-point advantage. Siva setting up camp, launching, missing. Rebound in the hands of Eric Evans, and then tapped out of bounds. Off of Evans, apparently. It was Donnie Cheatham in the corner.
Number 21, Robert Dampier, returns to the game for the Quakers.
Robert Dampier returning for the Quakers, on the floor with Peyton Siva, Tabid Mohammed, Nate Jackson, and Donnie Cheatham. So Donnie Cheatham, the one starter on the floor right now for Franklin. For Curtis, Zeke Hill, Gerald Hill, Chris Sprinker, Evans, and of course, Isaiah Thomas. Chris Sprinker pulls the rebound, gives it off to Thomas in front of the Franklin bench. Thomas signals his players down on the block, looking inside, a long pass from out between the rings, and another turnover. So Isaiah a little careless with the ball, but gets the steal back. He runs over Cheatham. Ball given back to Thomas, the other end, and he misses. Rebound to Dampier. Siva now on the push, trying to get around the big men for Curtis, as Gerald Hill and Chris Sprinker, all 6'4" and 6'8" of Viking, respectively, thought that they were in terrific position, but Peyton Siva
The foul called on number 31, Gerald Hill.
will go to the line.
Second, team foul number 6. Peyton Siva at the line for the Quakers for 2.
First free throw up and in by Siva. Played 10 minutes in the first half. Scored 3 points. The free throw give him 7 on the game. Second free throw on the way from Siva. It is short. Rebound controlled by Siva on the loose ball. Peyton following his shot. It was Sprinker and Nate Jackson that went up for it. Ball is on the floor.
Foul assessed to number 42, Chris Sprinker. That'll be his third.
Siva grabbed the loose ball, got it up. Got the foul call.
Back to the line for the Quakers.
Goes back to the line. Foul on Sprinker, his third. 7th team foul for Curtis. Only 4 for Franklin, but on the bench with 4, it's Venoy Overton. This free throw is good by Siva.
Number 21, Alex Seymour, returns for Curtis.
Checking back into the game, Alex Seymour. Seymour, Thomas, Hill, and Hill. Gerald and Zeke both on the floor, as well as Eric Evans. Second free throw this time is good from Siva. Timeout. Franklin.
Franklin takes a full timeout.
3:04 left in the third. 58-46, back to a 12-point lead for Curtis. It's been as low as 11, but has not been in single digits since early in the first quarter. It was a first quarter that saw Franklin fall behind 27-9. Franklin made up some ground with their own offensive explosion in the second. with 24 points. Curtis notched 17, and they win for the half at a 44-33 margin. With a little more than 11 minutes to play in the game in regulation, barring an overtime, Franklin's going to have to pick up the scoring pace. They can ill afford to match buckets with Curtis, especially when you consider that a number of the Viking baskets are going to be three-pointers, as in the first half, Curtis shot 5 of 9 from three-point range, 55%. Again, we mentioned they shot 61% from the floor, keyed by Isaiah's 32 points, and he was 5 of 8. Isaiah sitting on 41 points. For you fans that are tracking the all-time state record, it's a record that has stood for 51 years, and it's 48 points. Going way back. And Isaiah gonna threaten it tonight. Back comes Curtis. After the timeout called by Franklin, the defense that was set up by the Quakers does not get the job done as Curtis races down the floor and scores. Up over the top, Zeke Hill had pulled the rebound. Nate Jackson looked like he was over his back, got a hand on the ball. They call the held ball. No longer will they jump it up. Haven't been doing that for about 25 years. Instead, it's an alternating possession arrow, and it goes to the Vikings. Gerald Hill gets it in. 5-second call. Instead,
5-second call on the Vikings.
Just when he was making his move to throw it in bounds, the official in the far corner blew the whistle. So only 5-second call. So Franklin forces another 5-second call. Inbounds now. A little bit sloppy there. Daisy gets it to Dampierre. Now the near side to Siva, back to the far side. Jordan, Dampierre shoots. Air ball. And the crowd behind us from Curtis lets Jordan know about the airmail. It falls well short of the target. About a 17-footer that maybe made it 14 feet. But the Quakers maintain possession. The inbounds pass bounces off the backboard, and a violent collision happens out beyond the arc between Alex Seymour and Robert Dampierre. The official calls the foul, but both players are sprinting for the ball, and it's Alex Seymour that's going to be called.
Foul charge to number 21, Alex Seymour, his fourth.
Alex is fourth. He'll exit as Chris Sprinker trots back onto the floor for Curtis. Robert Dampierre to the line for Curtis. Out of bounds to Franklin.
It'll stay Franklin basketball.
So on the miss, Quakers get another break. They've had a number of them here on this possession. This ball is controlled by Cheatham. He gives it up to Daisy. Daisy driving hard. Both bodies hit the floor as Jordan Daisy and Chris Sprinker collide. Count for 2 for Daisy. Isaiah on the catch. Now working against Daisy. Goes right by the layup up, and an air ball for Isaiah. May have been touched. Back comes Franklin, but a turnover off the hands of Dampierre. Not quite ready for the no-look pass. Donnie Cheatham, the point guard, wanting his running mate to have his hand up, get those hands up and be ready for the pass. Dampierre was going to have an opportunity to lay that one up and in. We're under 2 minutes. 60-48. We've been stuck on a 12-point lead for a while now. Curtis just not quite able to get it any higher, and Franklin not able to get it into single digits. Thomas in front of us now crosses the midcourt line. Cheatham backing away. Thomas making his move, spinning, passing, traveling. So Isaiah really kind of struggling. Unless he's shooting, he has struggled. Multiple turnovers. We've got him at 6 unofficially. Anytime he gets called for the travel. So that is something that perhaps he will improve on in the offseason, is limiting his turnovers. The drive, the shot, missed, the tap out. Controlled by Hill, the push ahead. Thomas up top, blocked. Another turnover for Isaiah. Back comes Siva, the bounce to Daisy. Daisy, a terrific shot in the corner. Jordan, Daisy gets it up, and he was behind the backboard. Very tough angle for Jordan. He gets it up and in. Count the bucket, and he will go to the line with an opportunity to close it to 9 for the first time since the first quarter. Timeout. Lindsey Bemis. Curtis Headman wants to talk about things. 1:33 left in the third. Jordan Daisy in the first half. Daisy played 6 minutes. He picked up 3 personal fouls. He was only 1 of 3 from the floor. He missed the three-pointer. He did have 2 points, of course. He has played well in the tournament. The challenge really lies in catching this Curtis team. Is when Isaiah's not scoring, he is distributing. We mentioned that he's been turning the ball over with some frequency in the second and third quarters. We've got him at 41 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and 7 turnovers. So if nothing else, Isaiah is filling up the box score. Quite the line. Curtis makes its way back onto the floor. And it's going to be Daisy trying to complete the three-point play after the timeout.
Jordan Daisy at the line for Franklin to shoot the bonus.
Daisy, the 6-foot senior, 10-point scorer on the season for Franklin, knocks it home. Gives Daisy 7 points on the game. Cheatham picking up Thomas, midcourt. The tap away. Another turnover. And the freshman, Peyton Siva, going up and putting it down. Donnie Cheatham goes down. Isaiah gets fouled. But let's look at the dunk again from Siva as he's still out near midcourt preening for the fans. Peyton Siva, a freshman in the semis, showing you the future for Franklin. The future is now for Siva. And it's a 7-point lead. Thomas at the line, an opportunity to push it back to 9. The steal came off of a Thomas pass. It was tapped away, and Siva picked up the loose ball and took it in, up and down with the rammer. First free throw is good by Thomas. Second one, good. Back to a 9-point lead. Back comes Franklin. Back comes Siva. Driving, missing, rebound, pulled. Chris Holmes. Holmes making the contribution off the bench. His first action of the game. Gets in, and in a minute pulls an offensive rebound on the weak side, puts it up and in. And he is fouled. Go to the line for the and one.
And that'll send Chris Holmes to the line to shoot the bonus.
Chris Holmes, who did not play in the Franklin victory over Ferris and played sparingly, just 9 minutes in the victory over Kentwood, makes a contribution off the bench for Franklin. Can't hit the free throw. Rebound controlled by Curtis. Thomas crosses midcourt, 46 seconds, gets in the air, goes to his big man. Sprinker misses the bunny. Back comes Franklin. Cheatham, lightning quick to the rack, misses, rebound, fought for, a push on the interior. Frantic action, back and forth. These teams are going to be tired tonight. They will sleep well, as they have exerted some serious energy. Foul is on Jordan Rasmussen, his first. As both Rasmussen and Chris Holmes, a couple of seldom used reserves, getting some time on the floor for Curtis. It's Rasmussen, Zeke Hill, Chris Sprinker, Eric Evans, and Isaiah Thomas. So perhaps both coaches sensing that the energy that is being spent on the floor by the regulars needs a little infusion of the bench. Multiple reserves getting some time, and Chris Holmes notches them both, and Chris Holmes knocks it away. It will be Zeke Hill. Trigger the inbounds pass. Full court pressure being applied. A double team being set up on Thomas. Instead it comes into Rasmussen, who hands back to Hill. Hill trying to split the double from Daisy, and he runs over Jordan Daisy. And Jordan Daisy runs over to the Franklin side as the Franklin fans on the far side jumping up and down with joy, as it is a 5-point ball game. Under a minute to play in the third. Another classic in the making. Last night in the quarters, overtime thriller. Could we top that? Got 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. Daisy for three. Misses. Rebound. Pulled by Zeke Hill. Reaching in the backcourt. Stolen away. Peyton Siva. He can't find it. Unbelievable miss as the freshman picked the pocket of Zeke Hill. Just swiped it away and got a nice clean look at the bucket from 2 feet. How does it roll out?
Number 3, Peyton Siva, his second. 6 as a team on the Quakers for the half.
Second foul on Pepe, as they like to call him. Siva with the foul. 6. A steal. The inbounds was stolen away. Donnie Cheatham, just before the end of the quarter, steals it away. Thomas can't get the shot off. No good if it goes. It does not, and that insurmountable 15-point lead is down to 3. Stick around, fans. The Tacoma Dome is on fire. It's a 5-point lead down to 3 on the steal by Cheatham, and the layup is up and in. Taking a look at the last replay of the third. We will be back for the fourth quarter of measure. You are watching the Dairy Farmers of Washington 4A state basketball tournament here on Comcast On Demand. Back in a moment for the final fourth. This Comcast On Demand sports presentation is being brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, the title sponsor of the WIAA State Championships. Welcome back to the Tacoma Dome. We catch our breath and try to find some composure. A frantic second quarter turned into a downright out of control third, as Franklin actually gathered some composure and made a terrific comeback, and they have cut the lead down to 3. Zeke Hill driving, dishing. The pushing foul coming. Overton worried as he walks back to talk to Jason Kerr, and he will stay at that end of the floor. Venoy Overton all the way to the bench.
Zeke Hill steps to the line for Curtis. He'll get 1 and 1.
Zeke Hill to the line, and Zeke has been very, very quiet. Zeke with 4 points. Venoy Overton, leading scorer on the season, leading scorer in the tournament with Franklin, is on the bench for the final 8 minutes. They lose him in the first 8 seconds. Small consolation is Zeke Hill's missed free throw. Jason Kerr And rue the moment that Overton had to go to the bench. Peyton Siva draws Franklin to within one. Siva on the runner, the double coming from Siva. Thomas gets rid of the ball to Evans. Evans on the drive. Shot is blocked. Out of bounds. Curtis to retain possession. Thomas to inbound the ball. The far side under his own basket. We've seen him inbound it, come back, get the catch, and take the shot right there. He is guarded closely. Instead, he'll have to shoot from about 23. It's way long. Thomas struggling to find the range here in the third and the beginning of the fourth. Back comes Muhammad to Chris Holmes. And Holmes has it thrown away. Sprinker says, get that out of here, Holmes. Out of bounds, though, and Franklin will hold on to the ball. Holmes working on the inside, gets it up on the cup, and it drops through a 1-point Franklin lead as Chris Holmes off the bench gives the Quakers the lead. Zeke Hill casts away, and who else? The Franklin homeboy Chris Holmes pulls the rebound, and back come the Quakers. They will take some time now in the half-court set. Peyton Siva to the lane, blocked by Chris Sprinker partially. Siva hit the floor, looking for the foul, does not get the call. So now Curtis, for the first time in forever, facing a deficit. And their main man, Isaiah Thomas, will go to the line, shoot the free throw, as Jordan Daisy will be called for the blocking foul. Let's give you the unofficial numbers on Thomas. Still sitting at 41 points. We mentioned the all-time state record, state tournament game, 48.
For the Quakers, and number 5, Tyree Williams for the Vikings.
Jordan Daisy is fouled out of the game, so they will play the rest of the game without Daisy and Overton, two of their starting backcourt players. It's going to have to be the bench. Gets it done, and off the bench it's Nate Jackson. And Nate Jackson, right on cue, rebounds the Thomas miss. So Isaiah missing the free throw. Back comes Muhammad. Jody Johnson on the rebound. The put back, it's an air ball. The foul is called on the inside as Nate Jackson had his hands on the offensive rebound. And Alex Seymour has a chagrined look on his face as he thinks it may be his fifth. His fifth, indeed. Alex Seymour. Gonna have to leave the game.
Number 5, Nate Jackson at the line for Franklin. He'll get a pair.
Coach Bemis is gonna have to pull Gerald Hill off the bench for Curtis. Seymour
Number 31, Gerald
down
Hill.
on the blocks, waiting as long as possible to exit. He makes the long walk to the bench. Seymour finishing with 6 points and a number of tough rebounds on the interior. Nate Jackson, the 6'5" senior for Franklin, going to shoot a pair. It's Jackson, Siva, the freshman, Cheatham, Jody Johnson, and Tavid Mohammed on the floor for Franklin. Jackson misses the first free throw. 1 point lead for Franklin. Nice crowd on hand here at the Tacoma Dome. The best of the tournament. His second free throw is up and in for Nate Jackson. So Isaiah Thomas yet to score here in the fourth, yet to score in about 5 minutes. He has had a number of turnovers and really been bottled up by the double teams. A long pass to Tyree Williams. Tyree's pass intended for Gerald Hill. Hill has it slapped out of bounds. Curtis retains possession. 6:01 left in the fourth. Plenty of time. Thomas, finally, for three from the corner. He elevates so high on the jumper and knocks home a beautiful looking three. A nice pass on the interior, a wide open. Cheatham can't make it fall from the paint. Instead, it's Siva driving, and Peyton Siva, the freshman. A child shall lead them. Number 3 for Franklin on the inside, and Siva has it knocked away. Gerald Hill, now the ball's on the floor, and everybody get down. Jump ball called as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bodies hit the hardwood. Alternating arrow pointing in the direction of Franklin. Let's take a look at the line for Peyton Siva. Coming off the bench, had 3 points. Has 15 now, had 3 in the first half. 15 on the game, including the big dunk. This is Cheatham bringing the ball into the front court, crossing the mid-court line, giving it up to Muhammad. Jackson has his junk thrown to the ground. But on the recovery, Muhammad not giving up. He gets it inside. Jody Johnson gets it up and in. And that is indicative of these Franklin Quakers who fell behind by as many as 17. They have not given up. And Isaiah not giving up on the long threes as he is well short on about a 26-footer. 3-point lead now for Franklin. Siva, short, air ball. We've got some tired players on the floor for both teams as it has been a frantic game, a game that saw Curtis just sprinting out to a lead early. It was 27-9, the end of the first, 44-33, and the pace is just quickened as players are hitting the deck on every possession. Here comes a collision, it's avoided, and Gerald Hill drops it home. The big boy, Gerald, in the paint from about 10. The reach around, the poke from Thomas is no good. The 3 ball is up from Peyton Siva, and Zeke Hill made contact. We mentioned the bodies hitting the floor, and that time Siva falling on his backside on the fadeaway 3. But Zeke Hill, his 4th, sends Pepe to the line. We mentioned that Siva took off the wrap that was on his left hand. He has worn it most of the tournament and took that wrap off at halftime, and it was a first half that saw Peyton Siva go 1 of 4 from the field and 0 for 1 from the 3-point line, scoring just 3 points. But here, in extended duty in the 4th, 3rd and 4th, he is up to 17, make it 18. Siva, 5'11" freshman. We talked about the year that he put together, averaging 14 points, second leading scorer for the Quakers behind Venoy Overton's 18 points per game. 3rd free throw, good, 3 for 3. And now Franklin with a 4-point lead, and now a loose ball stolen away. Cheatham to Siva, squares up from 3. Rebound comes off the Hill. Zeke Hill on the push. Isaiah with contact, launches well off to the left. Isaiah really forcing things now. Can't make it happen from the outside. He hit a 3 in the corner just a few moments ago, but since then he has missed badly with his last couple of shots. Look for Thomas to take it to the rim instead of casting away. Try to create some contact and get himself to the line. 3 minutes, 39 seconds left here in the 4th. Muhammad on the move. Gives it up to Cheatham. Cheatham driving. Donnie Cheatham on the kiss. 6-point lead for Franklin. Thomas to the rim. Thomas gets to go to the line. A late call coming from the trailing official. The official all the way out near our vantage point.
Foul assessed to number 4, Jody Johnson of the Quakers, his 2nd.
He gives the foul to Jody Johnson. And on the Franklin side, the fans being asked to make some noise by the Quakers, as the Quakers have come all the way back. Venoy Overton having fouled out, giving some words to the freshman, Siva, telling him that there's still 3 minutes and 33 seconds left in this one. It is anybody's ball game, but Franklin with a 6-point lead. It is Curtis that has gone ice cold here in the 3rd and 4th. Peyton Siva just hit 3 free throws after being fouled on the 3-point attempt. 6 of 7 from the free throw line in the second half. A 3-pointer. 3 buckets from the floor. So a terrific second half for Peyton Siva. Points for the freshman. With 3:23 left in the 4th. It is the junior, Isaiah Thomas. And his 44 points is on the free throw line. Shoot a pair. First one misses. Second free throw. Up and good. 45 for Thomas, matching his output of one night ago, about 24 hours ago. They were playing overtime basketball. Thomas went for 45 then. On this trip, it's Siva, a little out of control with the shot, and it's tipped out of bounds. Possession to Curtis. Full court pressure coming from Franklin. 3 minutes, 12 seconds left in the 4th. Steal attempt in the back court. Thomas gets rid of it in the front court now. Gerald Hill gives it up to Thomas. Thomas pump fakes. Now he gives to Williams. Williams for 3, misses, rebound. Fought for and controlled by Donnie Cheatham. One of the smallest players on the floor, hustling into the corner to track down the rebound. Nate Jackson, now to Cheatham. Franklin looking to run some clock, spreading things out. Williams chasing with 4 fouls. Now Thomas, now Muhammad. Peyton Siva, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Zeke Hill doesn't want to foul, he has 4. Nate Jackson, no shot clock in boys basketball in the state, so if you've got a lead, you got to play some keep away and then hit your free throws late, and that will be the recipe for Franklin in terms of getting to the championship game. They are 2 minutes and 12 seconds away, and Jason Kerr calls a timeout. We want to talk about things on the Franklin bench. All smiles now for the Quakers, and the smiles that were all over the faces of the Curtis Vikings and their fans have now turned into very long, grim faces indeed. 2 minutes and 12 seconds left. Seems like a long time, but if Franklin goes to the spread offense, playing catch and keeping the ball away from Curtis, that clock will wind down rapidly. Team fouls. Curtis, they have 10. Franklin with 9. Franklin has already lost both Venoy Overton and Jordan Daisy. Alex Seymour fouling out for Curtis. So both teams without a number of starters. On the bench now for Franklin, Nate Jackson is checked out. And checking back in for the Quakers, Chris Holmes, who had just a terrific 3rd period, really keying the Franklin comeback. Muhammad on the bounce. 5-second call. So a turnover again after the timeout. The kind of things that will drive a coach mad. Jason Kerr calls the timeout, sets up the play, and what does he get? A 5-second call on Muhammad. Zeke Hill directly in front of us. Inbounds to Isaiah Thomas. Thomas with Muhammad guarding him. 5-second call not coming. Shot up and good. The chosen one, Isaiah from 22. Pure. Behind the back goes Muhammad, eluding Thomas. Thomas gets caught with a grab. Isaiah with a little smile said, "What, you saw that?" He got a little jersey. Really did not affect the play, but Isaiah Thomas with that long three has given him 48 points on the game, and that, my friends, ties the all-time state scoring mark. That is an unofficial mark, 48 points. We will wait for the final. I'm sure we're going to see Isaiah take at least 1 or 2 more shots in this game. But right now, we have him at 48. And as we look at the board, let's change that to 50. A 5-0. Fitty. Man, that wasn't Fitty. Oh my. Isaiah now with the ball in his hands to Zeke. Back to Isaiah. He's hit to the ground. He's able to tap it to Hill. Gerald Hill gets the pass on the interior to Chris Sprinker, and Sprinker puts it up and in. A 1-point game. Cheatham splits the double. Back out top, Donnie Cheatham. Thomas will chase. Zeke Hill. Out on Siva. Franklin playing keep away. Peyton Siva closing in on a minute to play. 74-73. Siva looking for Cheatham. Now it's in the corner. Muhammad, a chance to trap for Curtis. They can't get it done. Siva now driving to the middle. Pulling it back out. Looking. Finding Holmes underneath. Holmes to the rim. Has it blocked, but the foul is called. Perhaps on the body. Sprinker disgusted with the calls. He got there. He felt was in time. His 4th. Chris Holmes to the free throw line to shoot 2 of the biggest free throws of his career, to say the least. First one, in and out. Heartbreaker. Chris Holmes, who did not play in the first half, has 8 points in the game, and we mentioned he had a stellar 3rd period coming off the bench. This free throw misses as well, but the rebound controlled inside by Franklin. It was Jody Johnson who went up and got it. Jody put it back up, could not find anything, but how about Chris Holmes coming down from the free throw line, and on the Johnson miss, Chris Holmes got the offensive rebound, collected the air ball, and he will go back to the line.
Chris Holmes at the line for Franklin. He'll get 2.
Holmes, Siva, Jody Johnson, Tabid Mohammed, and Donnie Cheatham on the floor for Franklin. This free throw is good by Chris Holmes. On the floor for Curtis. Sprinker, Gerald Hill, Eric Evans, Zeke Hill, and of course Isaiah Thomas. Thomas has gone the whole way, and he sits on 50 points. But it's this free throw from Holmes that pushes the lead back to 3. So a 3-ball can tie. The man with the ball is a likely candidate to launch one. He will be doubled. There will be someone open. It's Zeke Hill. Zeke Hill gets it returned by Chris Holmes. Now Zeke launches his leaner from 3, misses. Donnie Cheatham, rebound. Chris Sprinker, foul. Chris Sprinker, exit. Chris Holmes with the block. A legend in the making, a second half to remember for Chris Holmes as he comes off the bench, misses a couple of free throws just moments ago, collects an offensive board, gets fouled, goes to the line, knocks down the free throws, and then on the defensive end, as everybody in the building is looking at Isaiah Thomas, the ball swings to Zeke Hill, and Zeke has it thrown back in his face by Chris Holmes. And now Donnie Cheatham, the senior, on the line, long. Donnie Cheatham, our player of the game last night with 14 points and 5 assists. He's sitting on 8 points, and this is a huge free throw. It'll make it a 4-point game, a 2-possession game. It's up and it's good. 22.5 seconds left. Timeout called on the floor. Let's reset this one for you. Curtis, who led by a huge margin in the first half, 27-9, 18-point lead in the first quarter. There's an 11-point lead at half, as Isaiah Thomas had 32 in the first half. Curtis shot 62% from the floor in the first half. In the second half, Franklin, knowing they needed to clamp down on the defense, did just that, forcing multiple turnovers, not only by the superstar Thomas, but many of the Curtis Vikings really getting tense in the third quarter as Franklin fought their way back and eventually caught the Vikings, and they have passed them. It is 77-73. Curtis needs to score. They don't have to have a three here, but they need a bucket, and then a foul or a steal. Clock is the enemy now. 18 seconds. Thomas launches. There's a foul. Almost in. He will shoot three, though. Some serious contact as Thomas launched from about 30 feet. And he almost got it.
Isaiah Thomas at the line for the Vikings. He'll get three.
Isaiah is 3 for 4 from the line in the second half. In the first half, he was 7 of 9. So make him 10 of 13 from the line. He has not been perfect, but he has been spectacular. You mentioned the turnovers, but he has been battling double teams and triple teams all night long, and that time he shoots it long. He knew it too. The minute it left his fingertips, he backed away and couldn't stand to watch the result as it was long. Got to make these two. He does make the second of 3.
The game for the Vikings, number 25, A.J. Wilson.
A.J. Wilson checks into the game for the Vikings. Another little used reserve off the bench as both teams go deep into their bench with the semis. Next one, misses. Cheatham, rebound. Donnie Cheatham. Again, Cheatham. It's about 5'8". With his sneakers on, maybe. Goes down low, collects the rebound, just using his quickness. He will go to the line with a chance to ice it. 13.2 seconds left on the clock. Fourth quarter, standing room only in the lower level here at the Tacoma Dome. Most fans on their feet. Donnie Cheatham, cold-blooded killer. 10 on the game for Cheatham. Time to think about our player of the game nominees. It's going to be hard to pass up Isaiah Thomas, but if he can't get his team to the finals, got to think about Peyton Siva or Chris Holmes. The second free throw is missed. There's a foul called. It's going to be on Curtis. Jody Johnson going up and pulling another rebound.
That's the second on number 11, Isaiah Thomas.
Second foul on Isaiah Thomas. And how about the fundamentals disappearing in the final stages of this game for Curtis? The failed free throws by Thomas and the block out on the free throws by Franklin results in an offensive board being pulled by Jody Johnson. And now at a 5-point lead with 11.5 seconds left. The Franklin fans are feeling it. Second free throw, good by Johnson. Under 10 now. Thomas picked up in the backcourt by Holmes. Thomas swings to Evans. Evans for three. Off the glass, rebound, Hill. 3 seconds, 2, this one's over. And the Franklin Quakers have done the impossible. Come back from 18 points down in the first half. Overcome a 50-point effort from Thomas. Make it 51. I stand corrected.
Foul called on Chris Holmes, number 10.
And my premature celebration and the premature celebration of the Franklin Quakers is going to have to hold on a moment, as there was a foul called with 0.5 seconds left on the clock. Chris Holmes called for the foul on a push. Somebody's going to shoot a couple free throws, but it is irrelevant. So let's celebrate. If you're a Franklin fan, it does not matter. Jason Kerr will call his team to the bench. The Franklin fans get their wish, and they are going back to the title game. An incredible turnaround. It started in the second quarter as Franklin got the running game going, put 24 points on the board in the second to close the gap to 11, and we talked about the need to get it down to single digits. They did just so in the third. They caught Curtis and sprinted right past them. And it's the Curtis Vikings who averaged 80 points per game. They go down as they are sitting at 74, and it's Franklin who will finish with 80 points. Shot is up and no good, and let's get a look at those Franklin fans across the way if we can, because it doesn't matter what Gerald Hill does here. It's going to be a Kinko team in the final. Second free throw, good for Hill. So Gerald just padding the stat line. Franklin fans holding up the index digit, signaling that they are number one, but they will have to beat someone to be number one. But for tonight, it's the Quakers who send shockwaves through the Tacoma Dome. And 9.5 earthquake from the Quakers. The Franklin Quakers out of Seattle come all the way back, pass the Vikings by, and Isaiah Thomas, the junior, will have a long offseason to think about what may have been. Certainly a superstar player to watch, but it's the team, the total team effort, including the contributions of our player of the game, Peyton Siva, coming off the bench and lighting things up for 19 points, including a big-time dunk and a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line in the fourth. Peyton Siva, Pepe, as they say. Pepe is our Comcast on-demand player of the game. We will be back in a moment to wrap this one up. Another instant classic from the Tacoma Dome. Final score, Franklin 80, Curtis 76.
This Comcast on-demand sports presentation of high school basketball is being brought to you by Wells Fargo Bank, proud sponsor of the Wells Fargo Scholastic Cup, promoting academics, athletics, and sportsmanship. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Welcome back to the Tacoma Dome, as we have one classic semifinal in the book, and it is the Franklin Quakers who prevail, and they punch their ticket to the finals. They will wait for the winner of this upcoming matchup between the Central Valley Bears and the #1 ranked South Kitsap Wolves. So let's take a look at the numbers. Unofficially, 51 points for Isaiah Thomas, who had 32 at the half. So in 2 games, Isaiah goes for 45 in the OT victory and then comes back and follows that up with a 51-point effort But as we mentioned, it was not a perfect game from Isaiah Thomas, as he had a number of turnovers in the second half, missed a couple of free throws down the stretch that would have helped out, committed a few costly fouls, but the junior, as advertised, unbelievable. My pick for the state player of the year.